Gotta get the story straight. I put up a video the other day that I thought was Kevin the Truckers, but I guess he ripped the video from T Big. T Big reached out to me and told me exactly what happened. In this video, pretty much everybody said that this person yelling at this truck driver should have had a backbone and shouldn't have let this guy talk to him like that. But the truth is, T Big was like, hey, no, that's not how it went at all. And one thing's for sure, karma is and the reason why I say that is because this guy, he actually got fired. It was at a Papa Murphy's. The man worked for Cisco, and here's what happened. Let's get into this interview.
Go into the walk-in now.
Excuse me?
It needs to go into the walk-in now, please, so I can go home. Fucking day for you to show up, please. Now.
You haven't told me where you want
The walk-in right there. The walk-in. Walk-in. Are you stupid? Are you stupid? Seriously? Oh, hi camera. Hi camera. Take the shit into the walk-in now. Ass.
Just start right away with send the record straight.
Okay, well, as far as the video goes, my woman actually brought me into this to see your page, and she had actually been viewing your listing that day, and she seen my video on there, right? And she's like, "What the heck? You're on Alex's show here?" And I'm like, "No way," So I was like, how is this possible? Somebody had to have taken your video off of YouTube and sent it over. And so that's when I went through the listings and tried to get a hold of you and whatnot. But to get this story straight, I'll go into the day that this all happened, if that's what you want to do. You want to talk
Let's get into it. Let's get into it.
Okay. So, it's a typical Cisco day out in Vegas. I had about 20 stops, 19 stops, and some of the stops on the way kind of slowed me up. This Papa John's was the last one on my list, and I kind of started slowing down because it was a hot day. In Vegas it gets pretty hot. I kind of got slowed down by the heat, and so I was running about hour and a half late to these guys. And so I show up, I park around back, and I start getting my stacks ready, and I'm start running them into the Papa John's, and I had to run it in from the back. So as I'm walking up, I didn't know where they wanted their stuff. I seen a guy in there, and I tapped on his window, and he opened it up because it was like a drive-through. And I says, "Hey, bud, where do you want your stuff at?" And he just started piping off with attitude. Late, all this and that, that's shit. And so I'm like, okay, this guy's already mad from the get-go. So I bring it around the front through his front door, walking in. I'm like, "Hey, sir, where would you like your stacks?" He just immediately piped off. Late, oh my God, why the hell are you so late, man? This shit, we're getting ready to close. So I'm like, all right, well, okay, he's disgruntled, and I'm used to it. In the industry, it happens. These guys get pissed off for no reason. So I end up, starting to drop his stacks, the dry goods, like in on the back floor, because I've never been to the Papa John's before, so I never knew where to drop it. So I dropped the first stack, and I'm watching his body language, and he's got attitude, man. Like, I'm like, oh, great, So I go back to the truck for my second stack. I bring it in. I'm like, hey, and I think he had some cooler items on it because there wasn't that much dry. So I'm like, hey, well, it's protocol. We ask where they want their stuff if they're there. So I asked, hey, where do you want the remaining of your stuff? And he was like kicking shit and already pissed off. I'm like, okay. So I hurried and grabbed my phone because he was ignoring me, and I just hit play. Just started recording him. And that's when it all began. Right when I hit record, that's when he piped off. And how you see in the video.
Yeah.
Off to me. I'm like, excuse me? Like, and I'm a 6'3" dude. Like, I'm all standing up. Like, I mean, I've never had anybody really come at me like that. And he started like coming at me. I thought he was going to hit me, man. and it took my all. I started boiling up. I was ready to pop, and I didn't know what to say because he caught me off guard. You
Right.
never expect something like that. So he caught me off guard completely. And, right then and there, I froze. I'm like thinking in my head, you know what? I'm not going to take this type of abuse. So I
Right.
turned around. I took his stack that I was getting ready to drop, and I started walking back to the truck out the front door, right? And I wasn't even going to deliver this, even if we had to. I was about to quit on the job that day, even if my company told me to deliver the damn product. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, I start walking around back, and they got their drive-through. He pops his head out the window one more time. You need to bring my back, man. This is shit. I want my shit right now. And I'm like, oh my God, really? Is this guy a manager? I'm like thinking, who is this dude? And so I'm like, I just ignored him. I just kept going straight to the truck because I was thinking at that time, he was going to chase me out the front door and come at me, man. Like, who knows? So I was just watching my back completely as I got to the truck. I loaded up, went up the lift gate, put his stuff back in, immediately started calling a manager, telling him how I got treated in that and this and that. And I hit send on the video because I had the video on my phone. I sent managers all the video immediately. But the thing is, I couldn't get a hold of anybody from Cisco for a minute. So I'm just like, well, what do I do? Then I get on the phone with my woman and I start telling her what I just went through. And by this time, I'm like, I'm not going to stick around. I'm starting to head back to the shop. I don't care. He's got like over 50 items that still needed to be delivered to him. So, and I'm like, I don't care. By the time I got halfway back to the Cisco yard, I had a manager finally call me. I mean, this was probably at like 6 o'clock at night, almost
Yeah.
7. I mean, he was so pissed off that I was so late, and I had told him too, you can't get mad at me as the driver. You got to get mad at my router for putting you last on the list. If you wanted that order sooner, you should have asked to be ahead in line that day, so, and he expected that it was my fault. But anyway, heading back to the shop, I just, as soon as I got back to the shop, I mean, all the managers and supervisors were gone. So I had just finally got a hold of somebody halfway there. They told me to wrap it up and throw all the cooler items in the cooler and leave the rest of the dry out and whatnot, and they'll have it resent out in the morning. So come the next day, I asked one of the managers if they had resent those items out, and they hadn't. So I'm pretty sure they canceled the account.
Oh, so did they have your back on that one though?
Oh yeah. They were like, you need to fill out an incident report. Oh, that's another thing. They told me, when you get back to the shop, fill out an incident report, put it on the manager's desk, and then they'll talk about it the next day. So, and I was so mad, I had told my boss, I said, something needs to happen with this guy. He should not be working there no more. I told him, I'm going to get a hold of their corporate, and I'm going to send them this video and whatnot. And so I got a hold of corporate, let them know about it and whatnot. And as far as I know, the follow-up, I'm sure he got fired, but I'm pretty sure they dropped the account too, because I didn't stay with Cisco that much longer after that. I just was like, you know what, I don't need this abuse, man. And it happens way too much in this industry where these drivers, like Cisco, can't keep up with the demand out there because it's so high of a demand. Like the food industry, fast food is so high.
Yeah.
They can't hire enough people that want to do this work because it's tough work. So,
thanks for setting the record straight on that, because, Kevin the trucker, I guess, ripped your video, and from there, kind of made it look like, you were soft. You know what I mean? Like you took the
yeah,
abuse and like you did it anyways, right? And so we got to set the record straight that no, you actually do have self-respect for yourself. You walked out, and then Cisco actually backed you up and canceled the account, and we got his butt fired. So that's good to set the record straight on that. Go ahead with your shout outs, brother.
Yeah, I got a little YouTube channel. I'm not doing nothing big with it, but as you see, it's T Big, T space BIG, lowercase. I'm putting videos out there because we're traveling the world and we're over the road, and we started doing this about 4 months ago, and we're just trying to show everybody the world. And I got short little clips of everywhere I go with my little family, and just check me out. Like, I'm doing good by showing people the world. So,
Hey, that's what's up, man. Well,
yeah.
I appreciate your time, brother. Thank you, man.
All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you for having me come on.
Yes, sir. Peace.